We are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. We heard Vidur humbly surrendered to Maitreya and he requested him, "You please speak about Krishna. That is the essence of all topics." He said, "Kindly chant all those superhuman transcendental activities of the Supreme Controller, the Personality of Godhead, who accepted incarnations or avatars, fully equipped with all potency for the full manifestation and maintenance of the cosmic creation." Shri Shuka Uvach. Sa evam bhagavan prishtah kshatra kausharava munih pungsham nishreya sarthena tam aha bahumanayan. Shukadev Goswami said, the great sage Maitreya Muni, after honoring Vidur very greatly, began to speak at Vidur's request for the greatest welfare of all people. Harikatha is greatest welfare because it will give eternal welfare and it is for all. All belong to Krishna, all jivas. Maitreya Uvach. Sadhu prishtam tvaya sadho lokan sadvanu grinata kirtim vitanvata loke atmano dhoksha jatmanaha. Shri Maitreya said, O Vidur, all glory unto you. You have inquired from me of the greatest of all goodness, and thus you have shown your mercy both to the world and to me, because your mind is always absorbed in thoughts of the transcendence. Here this word is used, adokshaja, in Sanskrit, atmano adoksha jatmanaha. Sai Maharaj is telling, Maitreya Muni, who was experienced in the science of transcendence, could understand that Vidur's mind was fully absorbed in transcendence. Sadhu can recognize sadhu. Non-sadhu cannot recognize who is a sadhu, has no capacity. Like if someone knows English language, he can understand that another person also knows English language. But if he does not know, he has no capacity. Like that, sadhu, devotee, can recognize devotee. When Shukadev Goswami was going, he was 16 years old and naked, was going, so ordinary village people, they thought he is a mad person. They spit on him and threw stone at the mad person. But because he was Paramahamsa, beyond this world, he did not mind any of this. He was going his own way. But the ladies, when they were bathing in that lake, when he was passing, they could understand that he has no any lust, because he's not seeing man and woman. He's seeing everyone as soul. So they did not deem it necessary to cover their bodies, because they understood he is always beyond this material consciousness. 1 second. So they could recognize that he has no any lust. But when Shukadev entered that arena where all great sages, they were gathered, when Parikshit Maharaj was waiting, then when he entered, they all stood up in respect of him. because they could recognize who is he in spiritual status. So they all stood up, and after he said, they all gave Dandavat Pranam to him, all great sages. They could recognize, not those. Likewise, there are sadhus moving in this world, pure devotees or devotees, and other people, they will see them as ordinary persons. They're also eating, they're sleeping, they're having this forum, so like us. Only those who have gathered enough sukriti, devotional sukriti, they will be able to recognize devotee to a certain extent, because that sukriti gives them that capacity. They have that much devotion already gathered, so by that they can recognize he's a real devotee. So here Maitreya understood the Lord is transcendental to our sense experience, but he reveals himself to the sincere devotee. Because Vidur was always absorbed in thought of the Lord, Maitreya could estimate Vidur's transcendental value. He appreciated the valuable inquiries of Vidur and thus thanked him with great honor. Noita chitram tvaikshatar badarayana viryaje grihito nanya bhavena yat tvaya harir ishvara. O Vidur, it is not at all wonderful that you have so accepted the Lord without deviation of thought, for you were born from the semen of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva had 3 sons. Mandavya Shapad Bhagavan Praja Samya Mano Yamah Bratuh Kshetre Buji Shyam Jata Satyavati Sutat. I know that you are now Vidur due to the cursing of Mandavya Muni, and that formerly you were King Yamaraja, the great controller of living entities after their death. You were begotten by the son of Satyavati, Vyasadeva, in the kept wife of his brother. That we heard that time, that Yamaraj once tried, means he wanted to punish Mandavya Muni for his childhood profligacy and ordered him to be pierced with a lance. Mandavya, being angry at Yamaraj for awarding him undue punishment, cursed him to become a Shudra. The Yamaraj took birth in the womb of the kept wife of Vichitravirya from the semen of Vichitravirya's brother Vyasadeva. So, the mysterious history of Vidur was known to Maitreya Muni because he happened to be a contemporary friend of Vyasadeva's. In spite of Vidur's birth from the womb of a kept wife, because he had otherwise high parentage and great connection, he inherited the highest talent of becoming a great devotee of the Lord. To take birth in such a great family is understood to be an advantage for attaining devotional life. Vidur was given this chance due to his previous greatness. It is not that Yamaraj only punishes. We have to go to Yamaraj. Only those who are devotees, they will not go. And he will calculate both pious activities and sinful activities. And accordingly, he will give judgment. You can first enjoy pious activities and then suffer sinful or opposite. So Yamaraj is only in charge by Krishna. Krishna gave him this service to be in charge in this court, to give judgment proper. It is no mistake according to your actions, and actions means the results are given by Krishna, so it is all good for everyone. Krishna is giving lessons through those so that we ultimately understand what is good, what is not good. If we did not want to hear earlier, then we have to understand through experience. Bhavan Bhagavato Nityam Samatah Sanugasyaha Yasya Gyanopadeshaya Madishad Bhagavan Vrajan. Your good self is one of the eternal associates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for whose sake the Lord, while going back to his abode, left instructions with me. Yes. Yamaraj, in commentary, the great controller of life after death, decides the living entities' destinies in their next lives. He is surely among the most confidential representatives of the Lord. Those 12 Mahajanas are mentioned in Bhagavatam. One of them is Yamaraja. He is a pure devotee. So here, Krishna knows. So he told to Maitreya, this knowledge you should give to Vidur. Like in Brihad Bhagavatamrita also, Radharani told to Gopakumar, today one, my devotee, that Brahmin from Assam, he will come here and you should teach him. So it is all arranged. Or when Parikshit Maharaj was waiting there, Krishna sent Shukadev Goswami there. So they're doing this service for Krishna, and also when Dhruva went to forest calling Krishna, then Krishna sent Narad there in the forest. It is always arranged by Supreme Lord. By His grace we meet pure devotee, those who gathered enough Sukriti and they are willing to serve or submit to Krishna, then He, seeing their heart, He will make some arrangement. He will, by Paramatma, by Chaitya Guru, and by outside Mahanta Guru, He will instruct us on the worship. That is why when our Gurudev came here to Slovenia in 2002, I took him to one apartment to take rest before the program. Then I said to Gurudev that today maybe not so many people will come. So I was thinking, Gurudev, I want to tell him in advance so that Gurudev will not be disappointed that he has to travel so much and all this, and then not so many people will come. But Gurudev immediately, he disillusioned me. He said, why you are thinking about this? Those who have Sukriti will come. And then he said, Shukadev Goswami was sent for one person, Parikshit Maharaj. It is his seva. Krishna sent Shukadev Goswami, you have to go and you have to instruct Parikshit Maharaj. Only one. So Gurudev did not say I, but I understood by Gurudev's grace, why he said this. Gurudev is doing service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his Gurudev. They ordered him, you should go, and in Western countries there are some souls who will accept. So you should go and you should inform them and you should guide them. So for those, Gurudev came. Whether it is 1 or 2 or 100 or it doesn't matter. Gurudev is doing service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to Gurudev. So how many will come? If only 1, that is okay. Because Gurudev is not interested in anything else except service of Krishna. He is not calculating, oh, so many people come, yes, I am famous, or there should be many people, then more money will come, like this. That is not his thinking. That is materialistic thinking. Let much people come. No. Gurudev's thinking is, I have to do service of Krishna. So Krishna sent me here for those who are here, and Krishna is like here, Maitreya said, that Supreme Lord was thinking about you, so he gave me that knowledge which I should give to you. So like that, Gurudev got that order that you should go and you should tell them that in this age of Kali, there is no other way except chanting of Harinam. This you have to inform them. It is this teaching of Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the scriptures is for all jivas, for whole world, for everyone. So you have to inform them. And there are some who will accept at this moment. Because jivas are on different phases, so those who did not yet gather enough sukriti, they will not. They will roam in this world, in karma they will do all things. So Gurudev did not come for them. But there are some who are. So for them, Gurudev came to serve Krishna. That message you have to give. And mantra you have to give. That is service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if someone does for some other ulterior motives, that is not proper. He will not get benefited and others also not. Because Shiva told in Padma Puran to Parvati, in this age of Kali, you will find many so-called gurus. They do this for the sake of getting worldly benefits, money, name and fame and these things. Very rare, so to take these things, to take money from them. But rarely, O Devi, you will find a bona fide guru who will take away the suffering of disciple by prescribing devotion. So, but they are there. Such gurus are there. Those who are sincere. In 1999 in Puri, Jagannath Puri, in our mat, Gurudev was speaking in Bengali. At that time I could not understand Bengali. So in between something he spoke in English. And I still remember Gurudev said, those who are sincere will get bona fide guru. Sincere means sincere soul, means sincerity for the soul means that she is willing to serve Krishna because eternal servant of Krishna. That is sincerity for the soul. Not cheating. So those who are sincere in this spiritual sense, those who really want the service of Krishna, they will get bona fide guru. Krishna will provide, surely. Atha te Bhagavan Leela Joga Mayo Ru Brimhitaha Vishwa Sthiti Udbhavana Udbhavantartha Udbhavantartha Varnayami Anu Purvashaha. I shall therefore describe to you the pastimes by which the personality of Godhead extends his transcendental potency for the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic world as they occur one after another. Bhagavan eka asedam agra atmatmanam vibhuh atme chanu gato atma nana mati upalakshanah. The personality of Godhead, the master of all living entities, existed prior to the creation as one without a second. There is no other than Supreme Lord. He was existing before this creation. At that time, everything was within him, not manifest. Jivas also were there. Maya also was there, but inside, resting. It is by his will only that creation is made possible, and again everything merges in him. This Supreme Self is symptomized by different names. Yes. Jato vai in the Upanishad, Taittiriya, Jato vai imani bhutani jayante, jeno jatani jivanti, yat prajanti vishanti, tat bijigasaso tat eva Brahma. Brahma, or absolute truth, is one from whom all living entities are generated at the time of creation. Then they are maintained by him, and ultimately they will enter into him. You should inquire about him, this Brahma. So there it is mentioned in this way. Here it is more explicit, Bhagavan. Sa va esha tada drashta na pashyad drishyam ekarat mene santam ivatmanam supta shaktir asupta drik. The Lord, the undisputed proprietor of everything, undisputed, was the only seer. The cosmic manifestation was not present at that time, and thus he fed imperfect without his plenary and separated parts and parcels. Plenary means svangsha, they are his avatars, and separated parts and parcels means jivas. The material energy was dormant, whereas the internal potency was manifested. That internal potency is always there, manifested, because Nitya Lila is going on in Vaikuntha, Goloka, Ayodhya, all transcendental realms, all the time going on. But this material creation, maintenance and dissolution, it is coming and going out, manifested and merging and manifested like this. So at that time, material energy was dormant. Jivas also are dormant at that time. And there is no need of avatars, because no creation, lila. When it is going on, then avatars, they come to maintain. Sava etasya samdrashtuh shakti sat asat atmika maya nama mahabhaga yayedam nirmame vibhuh. The Lord is the seer, and the external energy, which is seen, works as both cause and effect in the cosmic manifestation. O greatly fortunate Vidur, this external energy is known as Maya or illusion, and through her agency only is the entire material manifestation made possible. That is his energy. He is directing everything. Kala vritya tu mayayam guna mayam adokshajaha purushenatma bhutena viryam adhata viryavan. The supreme living being in his feature as the transcendental Purusha incarnation, who is the Lord's plenary expansion, impregnates the material nature of three modes, and thus, by the influence of eternal time, the living entities appear. We heard there is Krishna, and then Baladev expansion, and then first quadruple in Dwaraka, then second quadruple in Narayana, in Vaikuntha and Narayan, then from Mahashankarshan in Vaikuntha, these three Purusha avatars are expanded. They're his expansions. First is Mahavishnu, or Karano Dakashai Vishnu, one who lies in the causal ocean. He impregnates material nature with the jivas, conditioned jivas, or new jivas. New in the sense they are, now they decided they want to enjoy Maya. Then he infuses them, that is his glance, to Maya, three modes, and then by the influence of eternal time, everything appears. All living entities, according to their previous karma, they will appear from previous creation, or according to their desire, how they want to enjoy that type of body they get. Yes, Karanar Navashai Vishnu. Tato bhavan mahatatvam avyaktat kala choditat vigyanatmatma dehastam vishvam vyanjam stamo nuda. Thereafter, influenced by the interactions of eternal time, the supreme sum total of matter, called the Mahatattva, became manifested. And in this Mahatattva, the unalloyed goodness, the Supreme Lord, sowed the seeds of universal manifestation out of his own body. This Mahatattva is the germinating place of all creation. Prakriti is unmanifested, then when manifested, first it comes, then that is Mahatattva, and from Mahatattva, then yes, further it will come. Sopyamsha guna kalatma bhagavat drishti gochara atmana vyakarotatma vishva syasya sisrikshaya. Thereafter, the Mahatattva differentiated itself into many different forms as the reservoir of the would-be entities. The Mahatattva is chiefly in the mode of ignorance, and it generates the false ego. It is a plenary expansion of the personality of Godhead with full consciousness of creative principles and time for fructification. That Ahankar is created from Mahatattva. And there are three types, as it will come. Mahatattvat vikurvanat aham tattvam vyajayata karya karana kar tratma bhutendriya manomaya Vaikarikas tejasascha tamasascheti aham trida. Yes, three. Mahatattva, or the great causal truth, transforms into false ego, which is manifested in three phases: cause, effect, and the doer. All such activities are on the mental plane and are based on material elements, gross senses, and mental speculation. The false ego is represented in three different modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. That is Vaikarikas, Tejasa, and Tamas. So here Sai Maharaj is explaining, although we heard, but we have to hear again and again, because we are not well established, means realized in this truth. Fully realized something, otherwise you cannot do devotional, you will not be inspired to do devotional practice, but not fully realized. A pure living entity in his original spiritual existence is fully conscious of his constitutional position as an eternal servitor of the Lord. All souls who are situated in such pure consciousness are liberated, and therefore they eternally live in bliss and knowledge in the various Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky. They may also live in this world, those who have attained such realization, and they are waiting till the time Krishna will take them to his lila in material universe or to Goloka. So they are fully conscious of their eternal nature, their eternal servant of Krishna. When the material creation or those devotees who are sent by Krishna to preach in this world, to rescue the fallen souls, they may also be, you will see them in this world, but they are not misidentified with this world. They are always conscious of who they are and what is their mission, what is their service, why Krishna sent them here. They are pure devotees, so either they may descend from Vaikuntha or Goloka for preaching, or those jivas who by sadhana they attained that perfection of knowledge, of realization of who they are, both can engage in preaching in this world to rescue the fallen souls. When the material creation is manifested, it is not meant for them, for those who are staying in Vaikuntha Loka. They have nothing to do with this world, and only if they are sent for preaching. But no. When the material creation is manifested, it is not meant for them. The eternally liberated souls are called Nitya Muktas, and they have nothing to do with the material creation. The material creation is meant for rebellious souls who are not prepared to accept subordination under the Supreme Lord. This spirit of false lordship is called false ego. It is manifested in three modes of material nature, and it exists in mental speculation only. It is not true that I am proprietor of this and this, all mental speculation. Reality is we are eternal servant of Krishna. But because we misused our relative independence, wanted to enjoy, then we get that kind of false thinking that I can lord it over this material nature. Well, all false. But it will persist like dream until you wake up. Then you don't know, you live in dream. So it can go on for a long time. Only when someone is awakened. By awakened soul, he can wake up. Those who are in the mode of goodness think that each and every person is God, and thus they laugh at the pure devotees who try to engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. That Satya Guna, those Brahmins who are impersonalists, they worship Vishnu as all-pervading spirit, and they are thinking, I am dead also, and all are dead, so they don't like devotion to Supreme Lord. Those who are Brahmins, impersonalists. Here, this is meant. Like that Mayavadi told, I am Ram, so whom I will worship? Then Parangurudev explained to him, you are Ram, that is true, but you are his potency. You are not the potent. So you are Ram and you have to worship Ram. Those who are puffed up by the mode of passion try to lord it over material nature in various ways. Some of them engage in altruistic activities as if they were agents appointed to do good to others by their mental speculative plans. Yes. Such men accept the standard ways of mundane altruism, but their plans are made on the basis of false ego. I am helping, and nowadays you will find many altruists who are taking this disguise to cheat people. They want to exploit them more in the guise of altruism, of doing welfare for all. And in some countries they were exposed, and then they try in another like this. The false ego extends to the limit of becoming one with the Lord. As I told yesterday or before yesterday, they may be released from three modes of material nature, jnanis and yogis, but they think I am God, I am supreme spirit. That is also one kind of false ego. Because real ego means I am eternal servant of Krishna. The last class of egoistic conditioned souls, those in the mode of ignorance, are misguided by identification of the gross body with the self. Thus, all their activities are centered around the body only. All these persons are given the chance to play with false egoistic ideas. But at the same time, the Lord is kind enough to give them a chance to take help from scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and SRIMAD Bhagavatam, so that they may understand the science of Krishna and thus make their life successful. The entire material creation, therefore, is meant for the falsely egoistic living entities hovering on the mental plane under different illusions in the modes of material nature. So if you want, then you can do. So those who are preachers, they also understand. They will try to explain, but when they will see that the jiva is not now in the phase of understanding, still so much wants to enjoy and has no sense of discrimination to understand what he's telling, then they will not waste much time with them. They will help those jivas who are willing to serve Krishna. And as Gurudev told, if even one is there, they will come, because their life is meant only for the service of Krishna. If Krishna sends them to another part of the world for one soul to help him, they will go. It is their service. And they don't see it as trouble. They see it as a great opportunity of service, and they're always blissful. and they have no problem wherever they are, because Krishna is everywhere, and they are always in the service of Krishna, so they have no problem. Aham Tattvat, that is why when Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, on the order of his Gurudev, he went to Western countries. Outwardly, so many difficulties were there in the beginning, but he was never disturbed by that, because he was in the service of Krishna, sent by Guru to give. So he told, if I would stay in Vrindavan, in Radha Damodar temple, I had very good room just in front of DTC, you saw there. But if I would stay there, that would be like sense gratification for me. So because my Guru ordered me, then I went here in these Western countries. The service of Krishna is important, and we have to do it under the guidance of pure devotee. We should not have our own calculation, then we will think, yes, I should go to Govardhan, I should do. We are calculating according to our idea. That is also maybe good, but that will be more like a Sukriti, something. But real devotion is when you do service as ordered by bona fide representative of Krishna Guru, what he says. So also when Sai Maharaj was very sick in America, then he asked Srila Sridhar Maharaj, maybe I will have to give up this body, I don't know. So what do you suggest? I should remain here in Western countries and go on with my work of preaching? Or should I return to Vrindavan and Holy Dham, and because maybe I will have to give up body, I don't know. So Sridhar Maharaj replied to him, no, you have to remain there. Like a soldier on battlefield. If you die, that is okay. But you have to do your work. It is by your Gurudev, he gave you this seva. So if you die there, you are always with your Gurudev, means you are always in Holy Dham. So following instruction of Guru is topmost importance. Guru gives service of Krishna. So if we are remaining in the service of Krishna, that is what is important. So then Sai Maharaj stayed in America. And eventually he was okay, but the point was that we have to do that service which was given by Guru, even if you have to die in those circumstances. That is glorious. And surely you will be promoted back to Godhead because you are doing service of Krishna. Aham tattvat vikurvanam mano vaikarikat abhut vaikarikascha ye deva artha bhi vyanjanam yata. The false ego is transformed into mind by interaction with the mode of goodness. From goodness comes mind. All the demigods who control the phenomenal world are also products of the same principle, namely the interaction of false ego and the mode of goodness. So from this ahankara in the mode of goodness, they come. Taija sanindriyani eva jnana karma mayani cha. Yes, it's a short verse. The senses are certainly products of the mode of passion in false ego. From Tejasa, that ahankar in the Rajaguna, they are coming, senses. The senses are certainly products of the mode of passion in false ego, and therefore philosophical speculative knowledge and fruitive activities are predominantly products of the mode of passion. Tamaso bhuta shukshmadir yatah kam lingam atmana. The sky is a product of sound, and sound is the transformation of egoistic passion. In other words, the sky is the symbolic representation of the Supreme Soul. In Vedic hymns, it is in some Upanishad, Etasmat Atmanah Akashah Sambhutaha. The sky is the symbolic representation of the Supreme Soul. Those who are egoistic in passion and ignorance cannot conceive of the personality of Godhead. For them, the sky is the symbolic representation of the Supreme Soul. That is why you will see during Kartik Brata, it is stated in Hari Bhakti Vilas. Before I did not know this, but in Mayapur, our Mayapur Mat I saw. Then I also saw that it is really prescribed in Hari Bhakti Vilas that during Kartik you have to give Akash Deep. You have to offer one deep, that lamp, ghee lamp, to the sky, thinking that is Supreme Lord. So they will, and there is one mantra, and like offering to Damodar. They will, in our Mathur, they made one that with the rope and one lantern, and their ghee lamp is lit, and then with worship and flowers and everything, then chanting that mantra, they will lift. I did not know that mantra they were chanting. Somehow I was repeating how much I could hear, but later I saw in Hari Bhakti Vilas that mantra is there, how to offer that lamp to Damodar by lifting it in the sky. So then that lamp, sometimes it remained till next morning. Then first Yam Kirtan, before Mangalarati, that was still burning, sometimes, not always. Depends how well that, how much ghee and that. Kala mayamsha yogena bhagavat vikshitam nabha nabhaso nusritam sparsham vikurvan nirmame nilam. Thereafter, the personality of Godhead glanced over the sky, partly mixed with eternal time and external energy, and thus developed the touch sensation from which the air in the sky was produced. That ether then becomes air, and from air, fire or water, first water, then fire, then earth. Yes, here it is stated. Sound developed into sky, touch developed into air, form developed into, yes, fire first comes, then taste developed into water, and smell developed into earth. And those sense objects like that. Anilopi vikurvano nabhasoru balanvitaha sasarja rupatan matram jyotir lokasya lochanam. Thereafter, the extremely powerful air interacting with the sky generated the form of sense perception, and the perception of form transformed into electricity, the light to see the world. Jyoti, here he explained, Sai Maharaj translated as electricity. It is that lightning. That is electricity, lightning, Jyoti. Ani But at that time they did not like discover how to use all this. But the electricity was there, produced. And that means that lightning is electricity. Anilenan vitam jyotir vikurvat paravikshitam adha tambho rasamayam kala mayamsha yogataha. When electricity was surcharged in the air and was glanced over by the Supreme at that time, by a mixture of eternal time and external energy, there occurred the creation of water and taste. Jyotishambho nu samsrishtam vikurvad brahma vikshitam mahim gandha gunam adhat kala mayamsha yogata. Thereafter, the water produced from electricity was glanced over by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and mixed with eternal time and external energy. Thus it was transformed into the earth, which is qualified primarily by smell. And before that was fire. In this way, the material elements and sense objects, they are and senses and sense objects, they are gradually created, and then the jiva will enter inside, and then when there is dissolution in this reverse order, they will again go into upper element and like this, and finally it will merge into Mahatattva, and Mahatattva into Prakriti, Prakriti inside Vishnu. This also one can see in Samadhi. In purified heart, one can see this Lila of Krishna, how he creates and how he maintains and how he destroys. Because this is also one Lila of Krishna. Directly you can see. And there are those eternal Lilas also. So wherever we are, we have to serve Krishna. Tomorrow we will hear about Raghunath Das Goswami's festival of chipped rice and yogurt.